I saw a post recently, and I'm gonna read it out. It says here, it's like we've gone backwards with music representation. And then what it does, it lists a bunch of like black artists like back in the day. So you know, like back in the day, UK, we had like the garage scene, like Mystique. Yeah, Mystique are coming back together again. Like My Time, Showtime, Hook Line. Yeah, I love. Yeah, you know that Scandalous. You know, like Scandalous and stuff, right? Yeah. So they're coming back together, but then they will mention like Sabrina from Mystique, or like the group Cleopatra, or like Jamelia, and like those black female artists. That music representation isn't as much now compared to back in the day. Like, obviously it's obvious that the music industry has kind of changed a lot in terms of the music and the output of music, but in terms of artist representation, do you think it's different?
That's a great question. I've actually never thought about that. With regards to, are we talking about black people specifically?
No, it could be in general. It could be in general. I'm just talking about UK specifically.
UK specifically, it is a challenging one. What I will say is, it does seem like like you said, there are less successful or extremely successful black women in the industry.
Yeah.
And that's not to say there aren't black women doing well in terms of artistry. Like you got Ray Black, you got Miss Banks, you got Steph London.
Yeah.
There's probably people off the top of my head that I'm not mentioning. There's rappers as well.
Yeah.
But I do, like you said, I do think there is less representation in terms of like having that stellar person like Estelle or Beverly Knight.
And
or
that mainstream pop kind of, it's not even pop, that mainstream kind of influence. Like, yeah, Steph London and all these other people, but they're not that they're not mainstream, but they're also in a certain sector where they will always be accepted, which is that grime, rap, hip hop kind of area. Whereas that mainstream, like Mystique was mainstream, Jamelia was mainstream, Cleopatra was mainstream, like you said, Beverly Knight was mainstream. All Saints that had the black girl, Shazni, they were mainstream. But we don't have much of that anymore.
You know what it is? I do think, number one, I actually think you should invite a music person to come and sit down with you to discuss this more.
What do you mean a music person?
Like someone that's maybe in the industry or someone that, you know, I actually think it's a great conversation.
I wanted to invite my friend Shanice. Do you remember my friend Shanice?
Yeah.
Zita, that's her name. And she's a singer. And I wanted to invite her to obviously talk about her music, but also kind of the state of the music industry as well.
Yeah, because what I was going to say was, I do think there has been, because of the way music has changed in terms of streaming, in terms of audiences, in terms of independent artists, I now think you can be a very successful artist without necessarily being considered mainstream. So, for example, personally, I see Steph London as mainstream because in terms of her views and numbers, she's done mad numbers on YouTube, Spotify, whatever. But I do understand that, for example, she might not be an artist that's getting played on like Radio 1 continuously. So I do get that, but I do think that because of that shift in the industry, there's no longer that maybe that one standalone artist that's having their time, if that makes sense. Like when Tiny was around, it was like, it's Tiny's time, Tiny's having a run. Whereas now, there are so many more artists doing well. And like you said, there's so many artists now in their own lane. Like Little Sims.
Yeah.
You may not say she's mainstream, but she's in her own lane. She's generating money. She's touring.
Yeah.
So there is a shift in the industry, but there is something about representation there. I don't know where it is, and I don't know whether it's because of the shift or something more intentional.
And I've always said this as well. Yeah, representation definitely is a huge thing, but I don't think people sing anymore. People don't be singing anymore. You know, like, I understand not everyone's a great vocalist and that sort of stuff, but I don't think people be singing anymore, like, have those vocals. I feel like everyone is talking. No?
I think there are things, again, it goes back to, in my opinion, music becoming way more niche. So if you think of it before, we had kind of, in my opinion, not less access, but like if you wanted to find out an artist, you have to go to a vinyl store or the record store.
Yeah.
So it was like the artists that were put forward to us were the people that we listen to. Whereas now you can go on Spotify and discover artists.
Yeah, and you're right. You're right. You know, we can go on Spotify and so the accessibility of artists today is a lot more than before.
Which
You know what? I do agree, and I think even when I think about it and to kind of end it here, it's very much like, okay, there is a lack of representation, and I think the question for society now is, and for our society as well, is to now think, how are we supporting that representation? And I think, let's start from Black women. How are we supporting Black women within music?